Am I audible? Yes.
Your live, chef.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
A very good morning to all, and thank you for taking out an hour from your busy schedule. In this research-oriented atmosphere, we often ask ourselves whether the research analysis softwares we come across every second day are effective and time-saving. Well, being a researcher, if you'll ask me, it surely saves a lot of time and are very effective compared to our traditional pen and paper approach and Excel calculations for that matter. Research analysis software will actually make you more efficient researcher as it kind of automates the clerical side of things you do while performing your research. So you can concentrate and give more time for your actual research rather than compiling, storing, and sorting of your data, which takes a lot of time. NVivo is one such use wherein it's almost like a qualitative and mixed method research which is used the analysis of unstructured text or audio or video or image data or focus group interviews or surveys or social media or journal articles, whatever they say. It is produced by QSR International. More than just a tool for organizing and managing data, NVivo offers an intuitive qualitative data analysis experience that helps you uncover deeper research insights, and I've personally used it, so I can vouch for it. To explain how you can actually use, we have Mr. Saurabh Pathania with us today. Mr. Saurabh Pathania, a BTech electrical engineering and an MBA marketing work experience of 14 years in through operations, sales, and marketing activity. Seamlessly trained many faculty, different institutes, IIT Delhi, ISI Calcutta, ICMR Delhi, etc. for NVivo research software. Apart from his specialization in the software, he has an active role in the financial and corporate planning functions of the company. We welcome you, sir. I would now request Mr. Saurabh to take over and explain the features. Just give a brief idea about what the software is all about and what it can perform. Meanwhile, in case you have any doubts or concerns, please do drop in your questions in the chat box. We'll take it at the end of the session. Thank you so much. Saurabh, sir, over to you.
Thank you, Saurabh, for such a beautiful introduction. I welcome to all of you for this today's demonstration on NVivo, and I hope this will be an interactive session. And at the end, we will try to take any questions you have. You put it in your chat, and we'll try to take all the questions. So let me just share my screen now. I will just close my video. Okay, I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir.
Great. So today we will be talking about NVivo. So as Saurabh has explained, that this is a software for qualitative research. It's the tool for qualitative research, right? So when we talk about qualitative research, we are talking about when we want more insights in some research, which we cannot get out of quantitative data. We go for qualitative research, right? So when we want to find out why certain phenomena is happening, what is the reason behind it, we do qualitative research. And when we talk about qualitative research, the data which we get is of like very unstructured in nature, which is not quantitative, and it can be subjective answers, it can be interviews, it can be videos also, it can be survey data. So all this data itself, managing this data is a very tedious and a difficult job, and that's where the softwares like NVivo and other qualitative data analysis softwares comes into play. But NVivo is a software which I've got feedback from other researchers. It's very easy to use and much more user friendly, and the learning curve is much better than as compared to other softwares. So let's talk about NVivo. So when we talk about NVivo and the qualitative research process in NVivo, so this is the process which we follow in NVivo, right? We manage the data, we bring in the data, we do some automation inside NVivo, we try to bring in different themes by using automatic coding. So we get a basic idea of what our data is all about. Then we do some rigorous analysis by doing coding and running queries manually inside NVivo, which brings out more insights of your data. And then we can share our findings using different maps, charts, and visualizations which are inherent in NVivo. And moreover, the new feature which has emerged in NVivo is of collaborating with our team members. Now we have got options and tools in NVivo through which we can collaborate our search, our coding with all our team members. If many team members are working on same project and same data, we can collaborate our research with other members also. When we talk about NVivo, NVivo supports a wide range of data. You can see here that NVivo has direct compatibility with softwares like bibliographical softwares like Mendeley, Zotero, EndNote. Now, NVivo, just to tell you about NVivo has, or I must say, NVivo as a product of QSR International has acquired their own reference management software, Citavi, which has got direct integration with NVivo, and it has got more functionalities as compared to other reference management softwares. But that is a different topic. But anyways, so QSR has one more product with it, which is Citavi for reference management softwares. And it can work on data like it can work on definitely on Word, PDF files, audio interviews, video files also, Excel surveys, SurveyMonkey, bring in data from SurveyMonkey also. And you can bring in data directly from social networking websites also like Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and other websites also. If you want to bring in data, some journal articles from other sites, you can bring in directly in it in NVivo. So when we talk about NVivo supports the entire research process. So whether it is while you're collecting phase, the data collection of data. So NVivo has integration tools with Excel, Word. You can directly put in like you can have an add-in of NVivo in these Word and Excel, and it will directly bring in data from Word and Excel directly into NVivo just by logging in your add-in. Then there's when you obviously when you do interviews like audio interviews or video interviews, you need to do transcription of those interviews, right? So NVivo has transcription tool which is pay as you go. Use the services. You can use these transcription services for transcribing your data. And then manage, analyze, and visualize, which will be topic for today's discussion. I will show NVivo, the NVivo desktop software, where you can manage the data, analyze, and visualize your data. And then we have some other collaboration tools, NVivo collaboration for collaborating with other researchers. And obviously for enhanced referencing and visualization options available in NVivo, which helps in publishing our data. So as I talked about.
Just would like to stop here, sir, for a while. Does NVivo kind of transcribe whatever we have, an audio file or a video file, it transcribes it to a written document?
Yes, so as I said, it's a online tool of NVivo. So you upload your audio and video file on that portal of NVivo, and it will transcribe that audio or video in written text. Yes, that is the transcription part.
If we have an open-ended interviews and we have perceptions of all the participants or focus group members, then we can transcribe all that video or audio format into the text one and then probably code them based on theme.
Yes, definitely. Oh, yes, definitely. That's what I meant. Yes. So you can transcribe into text and bring it inside NVivo, and then use the features of NVivo for coding and other queries and other visualization tools on that text to bring out insights of that data. Yes.
Thank you.
Right?
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So collaboration tools I was talking about, you can merge projects with like if you are team members and working on the same project but individual desktops, you can merge your projects together also. You can use coding comparison query to compare to researchers doing coding on same data at different places. You can compare the coding also. And then you can use memos, annotation, framework matrices, and creating a code book and share it with the other members also after creating a code book. These are the collaboration tools I was talking about. So there's a collaboration cloud. So NVivo gives a space of cloud where you can upload your files and share it with other team members. That is collaboration cloud. Server is the same thing, but it's for a bigger organization wherein they don't want a cloud, but they have a server on their own premises, right? So collaboration cloud, this is one of the tools which is being used by most of the researchers in India also right now. We have sold many licenses of collaboration cloud where they can share their findings or share their projects and collaborate with each other. So as I said, NVivo helps in each and every process of the search process. NVivo collection data, NVivo integration tools, Transcribe, we have pay as you go, unlimited use, which Saurabh just talked about, and then NVivo Desktop, which I will be discussing today, and Vivo Collaboration Cloud. So this is like if you want to learn or something, you can go to NVivo website and have some coaching there also. So let me now go directly to NVivo. I hope my screen is still visible. So for
Yes,
today's
sir.
demonstration, I will, yeah, thank you so much. I will be using data which is a demo data provided by NVivo only. But this data was collected during a research done by Duke University in Down Coast, East USA. So this was regarding, say, environmental changes and community perception regarding infrastructure development. So several people were interviewed. So I have some transcripts of the interviews. These are the transcripts of the interviews. So like Barbara was the person who was interviewed. So I will just show you one transcript of the interview. So this is one of the transcript. You can see it here. So several people Barbara was being asked questions by Henry, and she's.
So, sir, this transcript was presently in the audio format, and then the NVivo has transcribed, or it was in the written format?
No, this for this file I don't have an audio. This is something in this is a text file only. But I will go to audio also. I have some one or two audios with me also. So this is the transcripts, the text interviews. Then I have some say audio and video interviews also. So this is so you can see that Helen was interviewed. This is the audio file, and I have a transcript also of this file, which was transcribed by using NVivo this thing. Ask NVivo transcription tool, right? So this is the transcription of that interview. And then I have some images also. So why I'm trying to why I'm showing this data to you, I'm just saying showing that all kind of data I will try to bring in inside NVivo and try to work on this data. These are images and some images, some PDF files also. So these are some literature articles, some PDF files. These are some PDF files. So I will try to bring in all this data and just show how easy it is to manage such data in NVivo and work on this data. So I will just go to the software now. So once you launch NVivo, this is the welcome screen which comes once you launch NVivo, right? So you need to log in your account. So this is I am already logged in this software. So you need to log in into this, and then you can start working on this. So let's start by creating a new project. So I'm creating a new project. Say Shant University. So you can name the project as per your theme or the title of your project, and you can always give description of the project if you want to, right? And if you want to keep a log of user actions, if a lot of people are working on the same project on the same machine, so you can keep a log of user actions, and every change they make inside that project will be logged in. You can know who has made something. And by NVivo understands these 7 languages. So your project, if in these languages, it will understand. So by understand it means NVivo has an inbuilt dictionary inside it. So it understands the language, the meaning of the words, right? So it understands the language. So English is the language we usually primarily work on, but Chinese, French, German, Japanese, Portuguese, if you're working on in these languages also, it will understand those things also. Click next, then it comes with some project savings. If you want to auto save the project, display reminders after 50 minutes or something. So all this thing, create recovery files. Where do you want to create the recovery file? And we click on create project, right? So this is how we create a project. So once you click on create project, it will create a project for you. So I have this project has created. So Shant University, this is the interface of NVivo, right? So just to give you a brief about the interface, if you see, if you have, I believe that you must have worked on MS Outlook, the mail app of Microsoft. So it resembles the things on the left hand side. These are the folders, which is called a navigation panel. So you can move from one folder to other folder very easily. These are all folders in which the data is saved, but different types of data is being saved, right? So this is the navigation panel. On the top hand side is the ribbon menu. So you can see that each menu has different options coming. So if you go to home, it has different options. Each of these options under this menu will be highlighted as you keep on working on different files, right? So it's quite intuitive in nature, this menu. It will keep on changing according to the type of data you are working with. So this is the menu, and the whole panel is divided into three different parts. One is the navigation panel. Once I open any file, there will be one panel which will be the list panel, and third will be discussion panel. I will come to that now. So let's start by bringing in data inside NVivo. So any data which we bring in inside NVivo will come under data folder, this folder, right? And under files. So any data which you bring from outside NVivo will be saved under files. So just to be organized and just for better demonstration, what I'm doing is I'm creating folders under it, under files for different data types, so that we are clear that what kind of data types we have brought in. So I'm creating different folders, one for say text data, text folder for text files, that will be all our document files, and one quickly I will create for PDF. One for audio and video. I will create one for images also. Right. So this, we have created folders. We can create folders as per our requirement. Not really required. It's not really necessary to create folders as per data types. It can be according to area. So you are conducting research in Delhi, in Gurgaon. So you can create one folder for Delhi, one folder for Gurgaon. It's up to the researcher, right? So it's up to the researcher how he wants to manage his data. So let's start by bringing in data under text folder. I've just selected a text folder. Go to import and go to files. So it will this option will come and you browse to the place where I have saved my data. So these are all the interview files which are already here. So I select all these files, click open, and I import it. So what NVivo does, it brings in this files, or I must say it makes a copy of these files and brings it inside NVivo. So even if you make any changes in these files, the original files will remain intact. They will not be changed, right? So right now we are brought in under text folder. So once we clicked on text folder, this is the list panel. So you can see all the items under this folder are listed here, right? And if I double click on this, or say on Barbara's file, it will open in the description panel. So this is the description panel. So that's what I meant. It's divided into three different panels. One is the navigation panel. This is the list panel, and this is the description panel. You can see the whole interview this way, right? So you can open many tabs together also, as many tabs you want. So this looks like it's a Barbara Charles interview. I can open many tabs and see it simultaneously if you want to work on these files together. So we can move from one tab to other tab very easily. So quickly I will import other data so that we can start working on it. So I will quickly import PDF files also. I browse to the place where I've saved my PDF files. These are the PDF files. I select all these PDF files, open. Same way, it will bring in the copy of these files inside NVivo. And let's quickly import one image also. Go to the place where we have saved images. Let's bring in one image. Let's say I bring in this one. So NVivo brings in this thing also. Images also inside NVivo. And one audio and video file. This is audio video file. Let's bring in the video file. Like it works both the audio or video. Let's bring in one video file, that of Ken's interview, and I have brought it inside this. So this is also inside NVivo now. So everything is inside. Let's start what we can do once we have brought in our data. So this is how we bring in data, and we can organize and manage our data this way by creating folders in it. So let's start by working on it. So let's start first with the text file. So let's open Barbara's interview. So what we do whenever we do qualitative research, the first thing is in NVivo or any qualitative research is we start by bringing out themes out of our data, themes or patterns in our data, right? So this can be done manually, as we do. If any qualitative researcher does is manually do the coding or finding themes. He can manually, what he does is he highlights certain parts of interview or our data in certain themes, like this pertains to this specific theme, this pertains to specific theme. So that's how we work inside NVivo also. The same way, the same process is replicated inside NVivo, but quite easy to do. So any themes which we make inside NVivo will be made under codes. It's called coding. The process is called coding, and the themes are named as codes inside NVivo. So whatever research methodology we are following, we can follow the same in NVivo also. If you are working on grounded theory, then we can make the codes and themes while we are on the go, right? So we are going to the interview and we are coming up the themes while we are going through the interview or our data. We can create the themes on the go also. Or if we have already, we are already set in our themes that these are the themes I need to find data in our themes. These are the certain themes or patterns I'm looking the data for. You can create those themes beforehand and then put in data on those codes and themes. So both way it works. So let's say I'm going through this Barbara's interview. Right. Right. Need to edit it if we want to make any changes in it. So let's say if we are going through Barbara's interview and we are going it manually through this whole interview. And as I said, this search was regarding environmental changes and community perception. So we are going through Barbara's interview and we see that Barbara is responding something like, my family moved here when I was 2 years old in 1969. My parents still live here. This you think is relevant to a theme community, right? So what you can do is you can just select this part of the interview this way, this specific part. And you just right click on it and you go to code selection and you want to create a new code, say by the name of community, and you select this code. So a new code has been created by the name of community. Where it is created, as I said, all the codes will be created into codes. You go to codes, you can see the community code here, right? You click on community. It will show you the part which you have coded here. So this is, my family moved here when I was 2 years old in 1969. My parents still live here. So this part has been coded under community theme, and it shows that it's 0.72% of the whole interview, this specific part of the interview, right? So this way you can do the coding. So now again, you go to the interview and you see something relevant to, say, her education, that she studied in Beaufort Elementary and Middle School and moved away for college. So you want to code this part of the interview and a new code or theme community. What you do is you can just again right click and create a top level code, or the next other way around is you can just drag and drop to the black space under codes, and NVivo understands it's a new code you want to create because you have dropped it at the blank space and you name it as education, right? You can see here. So you can see that two codes has been created. It shows that data is coming from one file each in these right now in these codes, and there are only one references. If you want to see the reference of education, just click on education. It will show you this part, right? So it shows this segment or section which you have, or reference which you have selected, right? So this was for education. Same way you can do again. So let's say, I want to show you, you go with the Williams. So again, you see, go to
clarify. Sir, just to clarify, sorry to interrupt you. Say, for example, if we have an objective wherein we have to find concerns or issues regarding some process, what when we transcribe this, then probably we can highlight and code it in the form of major themes, wherein we can name them planning issues, developmental issues, structural issues, like this. Then we can probably drag and drop all the content that we want in that particular codes.
Yes,
that's what you're trying to say. Okay.
Yes, sir. That's
so
what
we have to categorize the text, drag and drop into particular codes that we have created as per the objective.
Yes, as per the objective. So that's what I said. If you have your objective set before the start of your study, you can always create those objectives or those categorizations beforehand also. Let's say you are working on, say, job satisfaction, right? Just for job satisfaction of particular organizations, right? So you can create new codes and say by the name of, say, satisfaction, job satisfaction. Code can be job satisfaction. And then other codes can be maybe the salary part or the education of that organization. All this categorization you can create beforehand. Then you can start picking up data from different sources and putting in those codes or those categorizations. That's what I meant by codes. Yes. So as I was saying that I go to another interview, say Williams interview, and again I see that something, just for example, this part of the interview is again relevant to community. What you can do is you can select this part of the interview and drag and drop to community. You don't need to follow the same right click and this, you drop it here. So now you can see there are two files and two references. If you click on community now, it will show you that there are two references coming from two different sources. One is from Baba's interview, one is from Williams interview. This way you can keep on adding different references from different sources, and once you're finished with your data, you can see which theme is emerging more, on in which theme or which code more of the references are there. So this will give you an idea like, oh, this is the major prevalent theme in my data. So this is the manual part which we see. Same way as we work for text files, we can work on PDF files also. So I'm just going with the manual thing. Let me just come to the automation, what we can do inside NVivo. I will come to that also. So PDF files, any text which is built inside PDF can be coded the same way as we did for a text file. But sometimes PDF contains images and tables also, which cannot be coded as a text. What we can do is, let's say this image we want to code. So right now you can see once we have opened a PDF file, a new menu has come up for PDF. So once you click on PDF, you can see right now the text is highlighted. We can select region if we want to select any specific part of the PDF. And let's say I want to code this part of this section, and I want to code into a new code. So as I said, new code can be right click and create a top level code, or I can just drag and drop to the blank space. And I say want to name it as animal life in that area, animal life. Now animal life has also one reference coming from one file. If I want to see this thing, you can just click on animal life. It shows that it is coming from, this is the region which you have selected. And on the left and the right hand side, you can see different tabs. There's a PDF tab now because we have selected data from PDF. If you click on PDF, it will only highlight that part which you have selected. Other part is all gray in color. So you are creating relationships, right? You're creating themes and the relationship between different categorizations and the direct sources with it. So this is how do coding for a PDF file. Quickly, I will show you for images, then one video, and then we will move to the auto coding. So how you can generate auto coded themes automatically inside NVivo. So if we click on images, so this is one of the image, right? So what you can do is, once you have clicked on image, what you can do is you can always select a certain part of image as we did for a PDF file and drag and drop and create a new code. That is one way of coding an image, right? But other way is you can always convert your image into text. So just so that NVivo understands what this image is all about, because it will not understand the image as it is, and NVivo will not understand. So what you can do is you can always convert this image into a text by selecting certain regions. So let me show you how. So let's say you select this part of the interview, the image, and right click on it. And there's the option of insert row. So now this shows the region which you have selected, and you can write, say these are residential, just for example, these are residential homes, right? This way, and this you can select another part, say this part you have selected, and you can right click and you can just again insert row, and you can say fishing boats. Right. This way you can convert your image into text. Now you can always code a certain the text which you have coded. You can code this part also. What you can do is you can select this part, and let's say I want to code this fishing boats, and drag and drop to this part to a new code. I want to create a new code, say by the name of occupation. So this is the occupation for people. So I want to code the fishing boat image under that there. So now you have coded their occupation, and click on this. You can see here that this is fishing boats has been coded. It even shows the image which you have coded with it. So you can see if we click on this fishing boats, it shows the part, the reference or the image section which you have coded with it, right? So this way you are managing your data, you are saving your data, and you're basically creating relationships. So you want to see from where did I take this part, occupation, from where it is coming, the relation will be always be there. This is something which we do manually. Same way, let me just open a video file for you. So this is the video interview of Ken, right? So you can play almost all kind of formats in Vivo, but sometimes it doesn't play. You can always convert into WAV or WAV format. You can play it in Vivo. So this prompt comes up if you have kept this settings in project settings. It will ask you to save your project after 15 minutes. So this is the video file, video interview. I just moved the waveforms from here. So just to be clear, now when we work on a video file, so we can listen to the video inside NVivo, as I said, and listen and like work on it. But how to code it? How to code a video file? So there are different ways of coding. So let's say after hearing a video, you find that the person who's being interviewed, from time span of 10 to 30 seconds, he is talking about his community, something about community, just for example, right? So what you can do is you can select this part just like that, 10 to 30. You select it 10 to 30 and drag and drop to community. So this 10 to 30 will now be saved in the community segment. This is something which is relevant to community. If you go to community code and go to video, so it will show you the Ken's video there. And if you want to listen to it, it will play it from here, from 10 to 30 only. It will never play other part, right? Because this is what you have selected for community. This way you can do the coding for this specific part. Open it once more.
So again,
Yes.
sorry, to interrupt. When we are taking an interview, there are a lot of themes that are being created and a lot of issues and concerns that are being addressed. What we can do is we can just take a time span of that, a part of that video, and then we can create a code out of it.
Yes.
Okay. And then
Yes.
probably it is easier to quote and refer that way, because at the end of the analysis, when we are quoting the themes, then probably whosoever has talked about or have touched that particular topic or that particular phrase will be here mentioned in that coding list.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes,
in the
exactly.
research paper, it will come as it is, or it will come in some other format.
Right. Didn't get you. You're asking me questions, Saurabh?
Yes. In the research paper or in the thesis, whatever we have coded, will it come in the same format, or it will come in the text form?
See, if you are talking about your paper and you are saying that if you want to put in some citations, that's what you are asking, if that is the question?
Citations, and will this come in the form of charts or themes?
Okay, NVivo, see, NVivo will not help you in doing some citations. It's not reference management software. It will just, it is just for your analysis part only. Citation will be done by the reference management software. So anything
how will
which
we
you
get the analysis? How will we get the analysis?
yeah, that I will come to that. I'm just coming to that. Analysis, I'm just coming to that, right? So I'm just, right now what we are doing is we are bringing out data or maybe themes out of our data. We have not done any analysis. We will come to that. So, but right now we're just creating codes and themes. So that's what I'm trying to show right now. So another way of working on a video in a file NVivo is you can actually transcribe it manually inside NVivo. So what you can do is if you go to video file, and you can see right now it's a normal, there's an option of transcribe, right? So now if I play, I've selected this transcribe mode. Now if I play this video, say I play it, it shows the time span, let's say start with, and let's say I listen for first 10 seconds, just for example, right? I stop it here. So it has stopped at 11.8 seconds. I've heard about 11.8 seconds of the video. And then I can write whatever the person was saying as verbatim, or as my thoughts about it, or as my thinking, what I thought he said about. So as a researcher, you can write your thoughts in front of that specific segment of the video, or you can write what the person is saying verbatim. Let's say Ken is very disappointed about something. Just like just you can write this way. So this way you can create on. Now once I have listened about 11.8 seconds of the video, I again play it, and it will start in the next time span. And say you listen for the next 10-20 seconds, and then right. So now you can write whatever the person saying, and then you keep on adding and or transcribing this video or manually inside NVivo. Now this can be coded and this can be analyzed again. This can be analyzed using different queries, which I will run later. But the part of video which I had selected at 10 to 20 seconds cannot be analyzed by NVivo. That is just for your reference. That I have from where did I got this reference from this specific part of the video. That is just for a searcher's reference. But if you want to analyze something in NVivo, you need to convert into text first. So this way you can do it manually by creating the transcription inside NVivo. If you have already transcribed your audio or a video file outside NVivo, you can bring it inside and synchronize with the video itself. That also can be done. But the next thing I wanted to show you is the automatic the transcription services given by NVivo. And this on the portal, so I will be logged in there and my video will be uploaded there. So this way the video will be uploaded. I have only 1 minute left of video, so I won't be able to do that right now because I've already exhausted my 15 minutes which comes with it, showing in different webinars sessions. So I'm sorry for that, but anyway, whoever tries NVivo, even the trial version for 14 days comes with 15 minutes of free transcription. You can always try your transcription, right? So you can try your transcription with your own audio and video files. So this is Ken's video file. You can select the language. So right now it's English, so I need to select English. If your file or audio file or video file is in Hindi also, that option is also available. So that can also be transcribed in Hindi and audio, right? So if I do it in English, right now it's in English. I know that's the English language. I do it in English and I select transcribe. It will start transcribing it. Let me see what it says. I don't know whether it will do it or not because only one. So insufficient credits or subscription expired. So you need to have sufficient credits. 15 minutes you get for like 15 transcription minutes you get to start with. Please try from your side. So once the transcription happens automatically, it can be brought in inside. It will automatically be brought in inside and synchronized with the video, and you can do analysis on those text transcription. Now let's come to the analysis part. This is all manual, how you can manage and do the coding inside NVivo, right? But anything which NVivo you want NVivo to analyze for you, it should be in text part. It cannot be audio and video cannot be analyzed directly. You need to convert into text, obviously. Now let's start by doing some auto coding inside NVivo, right? So these are some of the text files I have. Let's do auto coding on this thing. So I have selected all these things. So auto coding is basically automation given by NVivo where it gives you a basic themes, all the themes which can be inside your data. So this can be used, auto coding can be used before you start coding also, so that you get to have an idea of what kind of themes can be generated out of my data. Or it can be used after you have already manually coded your data and you just want to check whether some of the themes I have may have been ignored by me or may have been left by me. So you want to check that way also. Both ways can work. So let's start by doing auto coding. Right click and the option of auto code. Now once auto code wizard comes up, these are the different options available. Identify themes. It even identifies sentiments also. I will come to sentiment in the in my later part of it this session. So let me start by running identify themes. Click next and it will start identifying themes for you. So this is all based on the word frequency. So it has a certain algorithm which works behind it. So it sees the words, same meaning words, it gets clubbed together and puts into certain themes. So as I said, this was regarding coastal area, environmental changes, and all these things, and infrastructure development. So these are the themes it has identified, right? So you can always see which themes you are interested in. If you are not interested in certain themes, you can uncheck those themes, and those will not be saved. Every theme has certain sub themes under also in it. You can uncheck these sub themes also. Whatever themes you want to keep, you keep with you. Otherwise, you can remove those themes. Right? I'm keeping all the themes right now for now. Click next. So I want to say I want to code paragraphs, not whole sentences, not only sentences, whole paragraphs, or you can keep sentences also, whatever you like. And next, by default, it gets saved into a different under quotes in a different folder, auto-coded themes. I want to keep it separate also because I want to compare it with my manual coding and check with if some themes have been left, or I can also merge these themes together, or I can work on these themes. So I want to keep them as a separate from my manual coding. These are the manual codes which I created, right? And these are the auto-coded themes which get saved here. Click finish, and it gets saved there. So it takes a few seconds to processing, and it will get saved. And whenever we run auto coding, NVivo throws some charts for us to better visualize our data. So let them just come up.
Saurav sir, say for example, in an interview, if we click on auto coding, then probably the software will identify by itself what all are the major themes or topics which are being deliberated upon, and will kind of create a chart or a diagram in the format just to take out the themes, what is being said by other person.
Yes, Saurabh. Yes, that's definitely exactly that is for auto coding. So now it has thrown this charts, as you rightly said, gives some charts. So these are the charts or the themes you can say which are majorly prevalent in your data. So phishing is one of the bigger the rectangle, that means it is the biggest. It has got the most mentions. The phishing. Most of the people are discussing about phishing. It has sub themes under it. Commercial phishing being the first major part in it. So quality, industry, commercial phishing again, right? So all these things are coming here. And if you are interested in specific theme, you can always click on this thing. It will only show phishing. So you can see under phishing, it shows these are the sub themes under it. Right? So if you are interested in say water quality, you see people are talking about water quality or bad water quality here, right? So you can see what people are talking about. So these are the major themes. So this is called hierarchy chart. All these charts can be copy pasted anywhere, right? So you can also view this. This is a hierarchy chart way of viewing it. You can also view it in Sunburst also if you want to. So whatever your choice may be. This is Sunburst, but I think hierarchy chart gives you more information. This is a summary which shows number of references for each course. And then this is some this metrics table comes up. So these are some keywords and number of mentions from each of these interviews. So say Barbara's interview. Out of Barbara's interview, you can see she is talking about there are 3 mentions of commercial phishing in Barbara's interview, 3 for development. Right, so you can see these things. So environment, there are 2 references or mentions of environment phishing again in Barbara's interview. So this you can see here, and you can use different colors, whatever colors you want to do. You can, and you can also view it in a chart form also. Different charts are available.
Say for example, if we have a group of 15 participants or panelist members have discussed or raised a certain issue in their discussion during their discussion. So this software can compile all those phrases in one thing and theme that this person has talked about this, and this the second person has also talked about the same thing. So these can be merged together, and this software will reflect all these, right?
Yes. So it will show you which person has talked about this. Like it will find out first of all the major things people have talked about, and it will show which person has talked how much about this, how much about this, how much about this. So you will get to know who is talking about this specific thing more, who is talking about less, and also you will also get to know which about which theme or about which topic the people are talking about more. So all these things will come by just click of a button by running this thing, right? So this is the chart which gets generated, all these things. And as I said, all of our codes get saved under auto-coded themes. So the themes have been saved here. You can see here, right? So these are all the themes. So if you want to check, say about commercial phishing and commercial phishing, just a minute. So under commercial phishing, there's a commercial phishing industry also, right? There are two references coming from one person only. If you want to see those references, you just need to click on it. It will show you from where this data is coming. So commercial phishing is coming from Margaret's interview, though one is the question, but other is the answer. So she's talking about phishing industry, commercial phishing industry, right? So you can see what is the reference all about. So you can just see all the, so all this data has been saved automatically by using auto coding. So all the themes have been created. Now, once you've created these themes, you can always merge these themes together. You can delete these themes. Say you are interested, say you think that this environment thing can also be put in under, say, industry also, just for example. So you can copy this environment theme and put it into industry also. You can merge two themes together also. All these things can be done by just right click and copy and paste and merge. All these things can be done. So if copy it and paste it here, it will merge with environment, the other theme. So you can keep on refining your themes together by just running auto coding. Then you can keep on refining so that you get a very good coding hierarchy with you. So this was about auto coding. I will come to identify sentiment later on. Now let me show you how we can explore our data and come up with more insights on our data, right? So for exploring our data inside NVivo, we have different queries available. So one very important queries and very basic queries are the word frequency query and the text search query. So let me start with word frequency query. So as the name suggests, it finds out the most frequent words in our data. So let's say I want to find out, let's say I need to find out in the interviews only, all my text interviews, all my text data, 50 most frequent words. What people are talking about, what are the most 50 most words people are coming frequently in my data, and with minimum length of 4, so that words like is and are doesn't come into the results. I don't want those words. So if I run this query, so it immediately pops up this result which shows that east is the most major word which is coming with minimum length of 4, count is 110 times it's coming, and all of the words, right? So people and all these things are coming. So you see that east is, why east is coming, because it was done in east coast, down coast east USA. So I don't want this word. Let's say you don't want this word in our data. You can just click on this word and add to stop words list. Okay, so now it has been added to stop words list. If I run this query once more, it will not, east will not be in our results. Right. Okay, so this is the word frequency query. I just want to divert your attention to this slider available, which is the grouping slider in this query. Right now we have selected exact matches, but we can select, say, with synonyms also. So if I want this query to group my same meaning words together so that I can get a major theme out of it. So what I can do is I can just run query. So now you can see think is the most frequent word which is coming, right? Not people. Previously it was people, right? Because it has grouped these words together. So all these words were coming in my interviews has been put under one umbrella, which is word think, because these are the same meaning words. So no, place, people, going. So all these things have been grouped together, right? So this is by running synonyms. You can always make it more broader to specializations and generalizations, which I will not suggest to you, but synonyms you can, you find out certain themes, you can run synonyms also. So this is the summary. You can also view it in a word cloud also.
Sir would like to give a halt here. Some questions have come up. I have to take them because it is related to this one only. So when you were saying that you have to create a new project always, Indupal is trying to ask whether we can work on the old projects also that we have saved.
Yes, you can always work. So you can,
again rework on the same and add into it. No?
Right. So any work which you work on, and any project which you work on in NVivo gets saved in your this thing. And just let me show you.
And Mr. Masood Raza is asking, is there any free versions for practical? Some free time that
free time, yeah, you get a 14-day trial version of NVivo. You can try this for 14 days. That is the only free version available. And then for students, there is the option of buying a 1-year license, which is around 9,500 rupees. So that is one option for students. But to try,
what if I'm not willing to pay 9,500 also? Can we do a pay as you go something kind of a thing wherein we can actually pay for a particular analysis only?
no, sort of that option is not available. Only the best option is for student license, that is 9,500. Otherwise, other options are more of a institute level options like perpetual license, the lifelong license, or the yearly subscription.
On the website, I've seen one pay as you go column.
That is pay as you go for transcription only. So for transcription part only. So
we can transcript using pay as you go.
Yes. So say you only want to, you don't want a 1 year subscription. So what you can do is you can pay as you go. So you purchase a one hour transcription and pay it for it, right? You can pay for 1 hour or something like that. That you can use. But for the licensing part, there's no pay as you go option.
A question from Ms. Priya. Do we have any set standard sample size for analyzing the interview data in NVivo?
Didn't get the question. Like what kind of set standards?
Any specific set standard sample size that NVivo can analyze the interview
No,
data?
there is no nothing like that. You can analyze anything, whatever standard size, whatever size you have, it will not stop you. Only thing is you need to make sure that your project size doesn't go above 20 GB. It 20? Will only handle 20 GB. That is a big size enough, right? 20 GB, gigabytes.
Continue with the presentation.
Saurabh, can you hear me? You were saying
yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay. So shall I move ahead?
Yes, please, sir.
Okay, thank you. So this was, as I said, this is the word cloud. You can change the different styles of word clouds from here, whatever style you want to keep it. But the main major logic behind it is the bigger the word, bigger the size of the word, the more frequent it is, right? So you can see that no, think are bigger in size because these are the most frequent words. You could also view it as tree map, same, it's like bigger the rectangle, more frequent it is. Then there is a cluster analysis option coming. So you can see here, I'll just zoom in further for you. So this basically these words are clustered together according to the vicinity they are coming. So words which are together in our data have been clustered together. Right? Years back, help good. So just give you a certain idea how certain words or what kind of words are coming together in my data. And moreover, say you want to see, like think it was a major theme which is coming out of a data. You want all the references, in what context people are using think or the same meaning words as we have used the grouping slider. What you can do is you can right click on think and create think as code. So I just want to create think as code and I just name it as think and put in word frequency so that I know that's coming from word frequency query, just for my reference. And okay. So if I now go to codes, right? So there's a think word frequency code has been created. And if I click on it, it will show you all the references wherever the word think or the same meaning word, because we have used a slider, has emerged in our data. So all this data is like all the words wherever the word think has been used, right? All the words.
In an interview, Saurabh sir, in an interview, if 70% of this or the person who is giving us the answers have said or have quoted a particular phrase or an instance, then probably this will give us highlighted which reference person has given this.
Yes, yeah. Saurabh, actually your voice is breaking. Can you repeat again, Saurabh?
Yes, sir. If I am saying the same thing and other 3 or 4 panelists saying the same thing, then probably this will think Wordfree will categorize everything, right?
Yes. It will show you from where, from which interview, from which part a person's interview this thing is coming, and it will show you all the references wherever the word think has come. Yes. and it shows
So we
from
can make
Barbara's.
out, so we can easily make out how many percentage have said what.
Yes, 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 true, definitely true. Right, and moreover, say you are interested in this specific part of the what Barbara is saying about this. I am definitely not considered a local. So this is not giving a whole sentence, only a small sentence, right? So you can increase the coding context. You can just coding context and make it broad. So once you make it broad, it will show you the whole sentence, a whole paragraph. Sorry. So I think this is the whole paragraph only. Just a minute. Let me show you somewhere also, like this one, and you can make it coding context to broad. Yeah, so this way you can make your context broad and see the whole sentence, whole paragraph also if you want to. So this was about word frequency. Let me just show you the text search query. So most of the times we do have certain keywords in our mind which we want to search in our data. Not word. We don't want to find say words, but we want to see a certain text, certain keyword or a certain phrases if we want to check are coming in our data. So let's look for word fishing in our data. And select items. Again, I look for all my interviews. I can select anywhere. I can search it anywhere in PDFs also anywhere, but I'm just right now looking only into text data because it considers most of the text right now. So fishing, and I can look for word fishing and exact matches of fishing, right? So in this option also we have a slider. Either we can look for exact matches, we can look for stemmed words also. Stemmed words, like if we are looking for stemmed words of fishing, it will look for fish, fishes, anything with fish it will look for. So right now we're looking fishing and we're looking for exact matches. If you run this query, it will look for word fishing and look for how many times the word fishing has come up. So you can, it will look for Barbara as 4 times, Charles 5 times, like all these things mentioned. This is a summary. If you want to see the references, these are all the references where the word fish has come, fishing has come, sorry, in our data. So in our Barbara's interview, wherever it has come, it has emerged. It also shows, like for each specific interview you can look for. So for Barbara, you can see number of times fishing and number of references. For Charles, so this way you can look for each of the persons. And automatically it gives us a visualization again, which is a word tree. Let me just make it bigger for you. Just a minute that you get an idea.
Diagram that reflects which person have used word fishing in what phrase, right?
This diagram, no, I will just tell you what it shows. So this is the word tree. What it shows is, as we had looked for word fishing, it shows how the word fishing has been used in our data. It doesn't show which person has used, but it shows how fishing has been used. So it shows 5 words which are coming before fishing and 5 words which are coming after fishing in our data, wherever it is coming, right? So if I show you, right now it shows context words 5. You can make it more also, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now it shows 10 words which are coming before fishing and 10 words which are coming after fishing. You getting me? So let's say I want to see the whole sentence. It's like this. He does fishing, and the next sentence will be commercial fishing, but actually he's not commercial. So this is the whole sentence, right? So you can in this way you can see the context of the word, how the word has been used. So this is the word tree. You can make the context words more also, 10, 11, whatever, how many numbers you want to make it. So, but one inference we can make out of this word tree is that most of the times the word which is coming before fishing is commercial. We can make out from here very easily, right? Right. Though we had looked for the word fishing, but most of the time word which is coming immediately before fishing is commercial fishing. So you may be interested in looking for commercial fishing. So you don't need to run commercial fishing query once more. You can just click on commercial and it will show you same query for commercial fishing. Now it's looking for exact matches wherever the word commercial fishing has been used. It's only about commercial fishing now, right? So, and it also gives a word tree for commercial fishing also, same way. You can increase the context words before commercial fishing also. So there are here is like it shows how commercial fishing has been used in my data. So this is about text search query. You can always save these results by save results and save these queries anywhere. And you can make it into codes also anywhere we want to save. Create results as new case or code, location query results, or you can make it in, save it under codes also. There I want to save it under codes. Okay, and what I want to name it is want to name it as commercial phishing text search, just for my reference. So I know that it's coming from text search. So this has been saved here under commercial phishing. This is it.
So all this we can just drag and drop to our final research document. The charts,
charts, and yes, you can copy paste it anywhere, charts and everywhere. Any charts, any visualizations which comes in NVivo, any tables also, you can export it or you can copy paste it anywhere. Not a problem at all. So let me just show you if you want to see this chart, right? You can just right click and export it, or you can copy it. Anything. It will be pasted anywhere very easily. Right. Now let me show you. Okay, now what I will do is I will just close this project and open the mature form of the same project so that I can show you more important queries inside it. I'm just closing it. Right. So, Saurav, as I was saying, any project which we work on are shown under recent projects, right? So you can open any project again from here. If I want to open this project, it can be opened very easily from here. And if there are some projects which are not shown under recent because we are not working recently on them, we can click on open other project and we can go to the file where this file is saved. Any project which we work on NVivo is saved by the extension of .npv something. So it gets saved under your in your document folders. You can go there and select that project and it will open inside NVivo very easily. Open other project and go to that file where you. So let's say I want to open other project. So these are some other projects which are already there. I can select any project and click OK and open it at this way. So very easy to work on old projects also. Now I'm opening the sample project which is on the same data which I just showed you. But this project is almost complete, like everything is complete, every data is there. They have run a lot of queries. So before going into another query, I just want to show you something. Let me show you first codes. The codes which this person has created. These are all the manual codes which has been created, right? So you can see all the coding has been done by the researcher by creating these codes or bins you can say, or containers where they have put in different references from different sources. You can see that sources references are coming from different 18 files, 25 files, and these are the references under it. So you can see most of the references are under economy. So you can see that is one of the major theme here. Anyways, under economy, I want to show you they have different codes, different subcodes, and one code is fishing or aquaculture and fishing industry decline. So as a researcher, this person has identified certain reasons for fishing industry decline, right? These are certain codes he has defined, and he has put in data from different sources, from different interviews, you can say, right? So due to cost of doing business, these are the reasons for fishing decline, and he has put in data from different places. Okay, that's one thing. Another thing is I wanted to show you is the cases. Codes you understand are the themes, but cases are basically units of measurement in NVivo. So it can be like persons who are interviewed; they are also units of measurement, or organizations which you are researching. Those are also cases. So let me show you one of the case. So people, they have created one people case. Under people, they have interview participants. So these are all the interview participants. They have created cases for all of these interview participants, Barbara, Betty, all of these. Now, what's the advantage of creating cases is, first of all, under Barbara case, what they have done is they have put in all the reference, whatever Barbara has responded has been put in under cases. So what's the advantage? When we run any query, if you remember, we ran any word frequency query, it find out the most frequent words. But it also looked for the same words in the questions also, which we don't want, because we ran the query on the files, which included the questions also, and the words were coming in the questions also. But the answers which showed had like the most frequent word like people, that maybe had been used by the questioner, the interviewer also. We don't want that. So what we have done is we have created cases for all the respondents and only put in their responses. So when we run word frequency query on cases, it will not include the questions in it. We don't want those questions. We only want those questions just to see on what question the people have responded. But when we want the insights of that data, we don't want the questions in those insights. You're getting me? So that's why we create cases. One advantage of creating cases is that. Second point is you can always classify these cases under different attributes. So let me show you how they have been classified. So this is the classification table. So every person has been classified according to the township which he lives in, community, generations down east. So you can classify according to the different demographics. Okay, now one of the classification is whether they are doing commercial fishing or whether they are doing recreational fishing, right? So one of the classifications. So some are yes, some are no, right? Income type. So this is the classification. You can classify very easily inside NVivo. You can create your classification sheet outside in Excel also and bring it, import it inside NVivo, or you can create your classification inside NVivo, right? So both things can be done. So that's why we create cases. The purpose of showing this to you was I wanted to show you one of the query, which is the matrix coding query. Now it helps in understanding which theme is which theme or which code is most used or most I must say shows the major references, and which theme is not carrying many references. So let me show you how it works. So let's say under matrix coding query, we need to select rows and columns. So under rows, I select all those codes that were the reason for phishing decline. I just showed you just now, right? So I select all those codes for phishing decline, which the person has identified. So these are the codes. I select all those codes. So this query comes in play once you have already done your coding, and then you want to bring out insights of your code. Done this. Now we want to cross tab it with attribute values, which is basically just a case classification. Under person, I want to see where the persons who are doing commercial fishing equals yes. So I want to see people who are doing commercial fishing and who are doing recreational fishing. And if I run this query now, so you can see here this matrix query matrix type comes up, and it shows that these are the reasons identified, or these are the codes, and there are 0 references who are doing personal commercial fishing for all those reasons, all those codes, but only those specific due to regulations and due to tourism and development. So persons who are doing commercial fishing, according to them, due to regulations and due to tourism and development, are the 2 reasons for what they think is the reason for fishing decline. But for persons who are doing recreational fishing, these are references, number of references, right? 4 references for due to cost of doing business, 8 for this, 0 for due to natural variation. There are no references for natural variation from both the classifications, from both the persons who are doing commercial fishing, who are doing recreational fishing, right? You're getting me? So you can, these are the basically coding references. If you want to see certain references behind it, say you want to see due to tourism, due to regulations, what are those 2 references? It will show you those 2 references coming from where. So these are coming from survey responses. These persons must have been classified as commercial fishers, and these are the reasons, or this is something which has been said regarding due to regulations about them, so which has been coded by the researcher. So this gives you more insights about your queries, what about your coding, how you have coded and defined relationship, which theme does not actually give more is not representing the basic or which theme is representing the actual data. So it shows all these things. Now quickly I will show you one more query which will definitely come in handy once you have done coding, is coding query. So coding query is to see what is the content coded in a certain code. Let's say I want to see what is coded under balance. If I double click on it and balance, it shows all the coding which has been done under balance. This is a very basic coding query. Just see what are all the reference under basic query. But if you add different layers to it, then it gives you more insights about it. Let me show you how. So this is the coding query criteria. I want to see all set courses what has been coded under, say, attitude and positive. Okay, positive attitude. And also I want to see what has been coded under infrastructure. So you want to see content which has been coded under positive attitude also, and also under infrastructure, right? So it will be overlap of the content which has been coded in both the queries. So this gives you a certain idea what has been coded in both the queries. So this is, you can, in one way you can say this is something positive attitude about infrastructure coming from different way, right? So it all depends what kind of content you have coded, but it gives you the overlap of this thing. So this also will give you better insights about your coding and help you in coming certain inference or certain insights of your data, or bringing some results out of your data. You can add more layers to it. Let's say I want to say positive infrastructure. One more thing I want to add, let's say, and it should be coded, or this content should be coded from the person who is a female. So what I can do is I can go to my cases and people and interview participants. Let's say, not interview participants. Yeah, what is interview participants? Just a minute. I think I should go it all case where, yeah, case classification person, and it should be, say, gender should be female equals really and female. So gender should be female. If I run this query, so it says it should be content from a female, should be coded in infrastructure, and it should be coded in positive attitude also, right? So this is something coming from female persons and coded in infrastructure, coded in balance, in positive attitude also. So this way you can add on keeping more, and you can see what content has been coded in 2 or 3 codes together, what is the overlapping between different codes to help you better results. So I will not go much more into more queries, but these are the very basic queries which you need and which will help you in getting better insights. Other queries are coding comparison, which is again is useful when we want to compare coding between 2-3 researchers together, whether the coding which 2 researchers or 3 researchers have done are in agreement or not in agreement. And quickly now I will try to show you something how to bring data from just a minute. Yeah. So I've opened my Twitter page somewhere. Yes. So this is my Twitter page. I will bring in tweets from my Twitter and just show you how to work on this Twitter data. So let me run any hashtags. So bringing any data from Twitter or anything, we need to run any hashtag. So these are some of the trending hashtags right now. So let's run right stand. The right stand. This is coming. I don't know what this is all about, but this is a right stand, right? Okay, so this is the hashtag or right stand. So what, for capturing these tweets, we need to go to this and capture. This gets automatically installed once you install NVivo. This app gets installed, or add-in gets installed on your browser, which helps in capturing the data. So I want these tweets as data set, and I go to capture. Need to authorize it once, and it will start capturing the tweets. So if I go there and see the capture progress page, you can see the tweets being captured live. It starts from the very latest tweet and keeps on capturing. Only these many tweets. I did not stop it. It stopped automatically. 1274 tweets have been captured. Now what we do is we bring it inside NVivo. So as I told you, any data which we bring from outside come under data under files. So this data will also come under files. So let's bring it under social media folder. Already there's a social media folder. Let's bring it here. Go to import. Now instead of going to files, we go to encapture. So this is the tweet we just captured, the right stand. You can see the timestamp also, 10:12 to write this thing, right? And we import it.
With any social media platform, it's just Twitter.
No, sort of it captures data from Facebook, from Twitter. That's it, I think. It used to capture from LinkedIn, but now they have stopped giving this access to this. But Twitter and Facebook it captures. But Facebook, it will capture data from Facebook page only, not from your wall or something. It captures data from Facebook page.
Okay.
Now, this is the tweet right stand we just captured. Let me just show you what it has captured first. So, okay. So I'm opening this thing. Now you can see it has captured it as a data set, right? So it has captured the tweet ID, the username, the tweet, actual tweet. These tweets you can see are in white column, right? All are in gray, but this is all in white because this is codable. You can again code this into codes if you want to, right? You can code it further. And these are time on the tweet type, whether it was a retweet or a tweet, and if it was a retweet, who retweeted it, number of retweets, hashtags, even mentions is mentioned, right? I mean, all these things are captured, right? Now,
so just to rephrase it, sort of, sir, if we have a certain topic in mind, then probably if we do a hashtag or search in Twitter, then we get to know regarding the same topic or same theme what people are saying in terms of tweet. And then we can bring all these tweets at one place and we can analyze them just like we have analyzed the text.
Right. Definitely. If you let me know any hashtag if you are interested in, we can run that hashtag also. No problem at all.
Understood.
Right. So we can run any hashtag. I just ran a hashtag which came on the top. Otherwise, if you have any hashtag, any specific topic you're interested in, say regarding COVID or something, anything, right? Even masks or something. So you can run any hashtag. It will, if it has results, it will show, and you can bring it inside NVivo. And you can not even for say today you capture it and you capture around 1,000 tweets, but you want more data. So you can again capture it tomorrow also with more tweets on that hashtag, and it will merge with the previous data. It will keep on adding to that data inside NVivo. It's not that it will be a different capture. It will be merged with the previous hashtag. You getting me? If it's the same hashtag, it will be merged with the same data. Now, this was the data which is captured, right? So just to show you other forms, it also gives some visualizations. This is a chart which is number of references by username. So CNN has the most number of references, followed by no one. Actually, not many has more because the tweets were less also. Only 1,000 some tweets. So this is CNN News followed by different. So you can see the data also, change the data also. Right now on x-axis it's username, y-axis number of references. You can also view it as number of followers also. Who has got the most number of followers? So most number of followers is also CNN News, then followed by ADG and something. So all this thing, right? Then it also shows cluster analysis, the cluster analysis which was created in word frequency, the same cluster analysis. So it is basically username clustered by word similarity, right? So people who are using the same tweets or same words are being clustered together. So you can see CNN News 18 is clustered together with Red Path 120. So this helps you in finding some better insight of who are using the same thing. And you can also change the data here also. So right now it shows display items username. You can also display items according to locations. So now if I click locations, you can see locations clustered by word similarity, right? So you can see if people from different locations are saying same thing, so that can also be clustered. I'm sorry, the hashtag which we captured is very not much information in it, but it gives a quite good cluster analysis if there are good number of tweets and not and if I think most of the tweets in this tweet are coming from one person only, that's why. And then you can also view it in a map form also, so you can see that's why the tweets is so it's coming this way, because what this tweets is 1680 tweets are coming from only one place for this tweet. You can see here, right? I think this must be some kind of marketing or something. So you can view it on World Map from.
I guess, Saurabh sir, we have almost understood what NVivo can perform. Just to make it more easier for the participants, whether you have text, whether you have videos, whether you have PDFs, you can all merge it or bring down to the NVivo software and then probably code. You can generate your own codes, or what you can do is you can auto code, click on auto code, and then probably you'll get auto coded themes. Codes will again generate themes, and then based on your themes, you can probably fulfill your objective. You can come up with diagrams, you can come up with text, you can come up with charts, you can come up with pie charts and graphs.
Yes.
And
right, Saurabh. Right. Obviously,
everything you can get it at just a click. Again, to bring down the text form, you can also use your audio format, like what I've used in my research. So I have an audio, an interview audio, about 50 minutes or 1 hour, and then probably this NVivo software will transcribe it into a text form and then will auto code it automatically and will give you themes of how many people have discussed or have raised this particular concern or have highlighted this as a key.
Right.
Any objective which can be fulfilled through a qualitative analysis. Of course, being a qualitative based objective, you cannot just rely on the review of literature. You have to analyze it some way or the other. NVivo again will be a great tool to analyze kind of data. So I guess we have pretty much understood everything. A lot of people have asked to share the video of this whole presentation. Of course, we'll try to do that. But there was one question. There are two versions of NVivo, I guess, NVivo Pro and NVivo Plus. Someone asked about that. Are there any versions in NVivo?
Yeah, no, sort of no, there are no versions anymore. It used to be in the previous edition, that is now the latest version does not have any Pro and Plus versions. There's only one version which has got all the features. So there's no Pro and Plus anymore. Yes.
I guess we can conclude this session. It was a really informative one, Saurabh sir.
Thank you so much, Saurabh. Yes.
Those who wants to have an extra information probably can reach NVivo directly. This was more of an knowledge enhancement and an informative kind of a session. Again, a lot of us struggle with analyzing the qualitative form of data. So probably those who wants to pursue or carry on with the research. So any qualitative data, probably they can use the softwares. Again, a very reliable one. Thank you, Saurabh sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Saurabh. Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining in. You all will get the participation certificates within the 3 or 4 days of this session, and you'll also get a feedback link. So probably great if you can just spare 5 minutes to give your feedback session. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Sunil Chef.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for coming.